What you believe is healthy for the brain could, in fact, be the very thing quietly pushing you toward a stroke in your sleep. It sounds unbelievable, but it happens far more often than you think. Picture this. It's evening, and you're sitting in your favorite armchair, reading glasses perched on your nose, voice warm and steady as you read a bedtime story to your grandchild. The room is calm, filled only with laughter and innocence. Suddenly, your voice catches. You can't get the words out. The hand holding the book slips and falls, heavy and unresponsive. Wide eyes stare back at you in confusion, while you sit frozen, unable to speak a word. This isn't a tragic movie scene. It's the very real reality neurologists see in hospitals every day. Seniors who never smoked, never drank, who ate what they thought was healthy, suddenly collapsing from a stroke or sliding rapidly into dementia. They did everything by the book, yet still lost the battle happening silently inside their brains. So, where does the problem really lie? After 60, your body is no longer the same. Habits that once seemed harmless or even beneficial in your 40s and 50s can quietly turn into burdens. And it's not just age, but a combination of hidden factors. The body changes with age. The stomach produces less acid, making it harder to absorb vitamins and minerals. Foods you thought were nourishing may no longer feed your brain the way they used to. Medications quietly steal nutrients. Pills for blood pressure, the heart, or digestion, though essential, can slowly drain the very vitamins your memory depends on. Eating too well or making sudden diet shifts, following advice like eat more whole grains and vegetables without balance, can sometimes block the absorption of critical nutrients. Nighttime risks. Blood pressure can dip too low, hormones shift, and blood thickens as you sleep, turning your brain into a vulnerable target for stroke. The scariest part. These changes creep in silently, without warning. You may think your memory is just slipping a little, or that forgetfulness is a normal part of aging. But inside, your brain cells are crying out, like a flashlight slowly dimming as the batteries run dry. Here's the good news. You are not powerless. Doctors have proven that by replenishing just 4 essential vitamins, the brain can regain sharpness, memory can be protected, and the risk of dementia can be slashed by up to 40%. This isn't marketing hype. It's backed by research from Harvard and Mayo Clinic, 2 of the world's leading medical institutions. And the best part? The solution doesn't require expensive prescriptions or long hospital visits. It starts with simple, everyday steps, many of which may already be sitting in your own kitchen. In the next section, we'll dive into the very first nutrient, often called the silent guardian of memory. Ironically, it's also the one most people over 60 are dangerously deficient in. There's a reason why so many people over 60 begin to notice more little memory lapses, often dismissing them as just part of aging. In reality, one of the silent culprits is a deficiency in vitamin B12, a nutrient considered the brain's fuel source. Imagine your brain as the electrical system in your home. When the voltage is steady, every light shines bright and your memory stays clear. But without enough B12, the wiring wears down, the current flickers, and the result? Dim lights, flickering memory, sometimes sharp, sometimes blurry. Why does B12 deficiency become so common after 60? Because in order to absorb B12 from food, the stomach must produce enough acid and a special protein called intrinsic factor. After 60, Your stomach is like a gas stove. Running out of flame, acid production drops significantly, and intrinsic factor weakens. This means that even if you eat plenty of eggs, meat, and fish, your body can't fully absorb the B12. Studies show that nearly 1/3 of older adults are deficient without even knowing it. The benefits of B12 for the brain are enormous. It helps create neurotransmitters, the signals your brain uses to remember, focus, and process information. With enough B12, your mind feels sharp, conversations flow easily, and you're less likely to lose track of what you were saying mid-sentence. Deficiency signs often start subtly: misplacing keys, mixing up familiar names, tingling in the hands and feet, or unexplained fatigue. But over time, this silent shortage can become dangerous, doubling the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's, even leading to irreversible nerve damage. So how much is enough, and what's the best way to take it? Neurologists often recommend that people over 60 supplement with around 1,000 mg of vitamin B12 in the methylcobalamin form daily. This type can be dissolved under the tongue and absorbed directly into the bloodstream, perfect for older adults. You can also add B12-rich foods like salmon, sardines, eggs, dairy, or fortified cereals. A few important reminders. If you're taking acid-reducing medication or metformin for diabetes, your risk of deficiency is higher. Ask your doctor about testing. Strict vegetarians are almost certain to be deficient without supplementation. If you have blood or nerve-related conditions, supplementation should follow your doctor's specific instructions. Practical tip: start a simple habit by keeping your sublingual B12 tablets next to your toothbrush. Each morning after brushing, place one under your tongue. Just a couple of minutes can keep your memory sharp all day. The bottom line is simple. Lacking B12 is like running your brain on low battery mode. You'll still function, but sluggishly, foggily, and more prone to breakdowns. Supplementing B12 properly after 60 is like recharging your brain's battery, helping you preserve memory, focus, and the joy of lively conversations with family. If B12 is the battery that powers brain signals, then vitamin D3 is like sunlight shining on every nerve cell. People often think of vitamin D as only good for bones, but in truth, it's also a key that protects memory and mood after age 60. Picture this. You step into the garden on a chilly morning, sunlight filtering gently through the leaves. You stretch out your hand to catch the rays. But after 60, your body doesn't capture sunlight as well as it used to. Your skin becomes thinner, and the ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight drops dramatically. This means that even if you spend time outdoors, your body can still slip into deficiency. And that lack doesn't just weaken bones, it gradually dims your memory. What does vitamin D3 do for the brain? It regulates more than 200 genes tied to nervous system function. With enough vitamin D, brain cells communicate smoothly. Your mood feels uplifted, and your mind stays clear. Without it, the brain falls into a fog, memory flickers, and moods sink easily. Multiple studies show that low vitamin D levels increase the risk of depression, confusion, and even Alzheimer's. How can you tell if you're low on vitamin D3? The early signs are vague: fatigue, sluggishness, poor focus, or forgetting little details. Some also notice bone and joint aches or restless sleep. But when deficiency drags on, the brain can age prematurely. Memory declines quickly, and you may not even realize it's happening. The danger goes beyond forgetfulness. Low vitamin D weakens the brain's vascular shield, raising the risk of stroke and heart disease. So this isn't just about memory, it's about survival. How much is enough? Experts often recommend adults over 60 take between 1,000 and 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, especially if they live in less sunny regions or spend most time indoors. This dosage is safe and sustainable. Just remember, vitamin D is fat-soluble, so it absorbs best when taken with a meal that includes healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or fatty fish. A few key reminders. If you have kidney disease or kidney stones, consult your doctor before taking high doses. Those who stay indoors, move less, or live in colder climates should check their vitamin D levels regularly. Don't assume 10 minutes of sun exposure is enough after 60. The skin's natural production drops to less than half of what it was in youth. Practical tip: pair a gentle morning walk outdoors with your daily vitamin D3 supplement. Breathe fresh air, soak up light, and let your body remember what sunshine feels like. Many seniors tell their doctors that within weeks they feel more energetic, sleep deeper, and notice clearer memory. Bottom line, vitamin D3 is the light that nourishes the brain. Without it, the mind is like a darkened room where memory gets lost. But with enough D3, that room glows again, keeping you sharp, bright, and joyful in every moment. If you've ever heard someone say, the brain is mostly made of fat, that's true. About 60% of the brain's structure is fat, and among these, DHA, a key type of omega-3, is the brain's favorite premium material. Without it, nerve cells are like electrical wires, stripped of insulation. Signals flicker, memory weakens, and the mind feels drained. Think of the brain as a complex machine, with omega-3 as the oil that keeps every gear turning smoothly. When well-oiled, the machine runs effortlessly, memory stays sharp, and thinking is flexible. But when it runs dry, the gears screech, strain, and eventually break down. Why does omega-3 matter so much after 60? As we age, the body's ability to synthesize and store healthy fats declines. Modern diets are heavy in fried oils and red meat, but lacking in fatty fish, the primary source of omega-3. The result is that the brain gradually dries out of this essential nutrient. Studies show that seniors with low DHA levels face a significantly higher risk of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's than those who maintain adequate intake. The standout benefits of omega-3 for the brain: builds and maintains the protective membrane of nerve cells, reduces inflammation, the silent destroyer of the brain, enhances memory and focus. Some studies even suggest omega-3 may slow neurodegeneration. Signs of omega-3 deficiency often include forgetfulness, difficulty focusing, anxiety or mild depression, dry hair, and rough skin. Many don't realize their brain is thirsty for omega-3 until lab tests reveal it. Left unchecked, deficiency robs the brain of flexibility, weakens neural connections, and not only accelerates memory loss, but also raises the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. For the heart and blood vessels, low omega-3 increases the threat of heart attack and stroke, the two biggest enemies of aging. How should you supplement omega-3? The simplest way: eat fatty fish twice a week, such as salmon, sardines, herring, or mackerel. If you dislike or can't eat fish regularly, choose high-quality fish oil or algae oil for vegetarians. Always check labels. Prioritize supplements rich in DHA. since that's the form the brain uses most. Recommended intake for people over 60 is about 1,000 millirus of combined DHA, EPA per day. Take it after a meal with healthy fats for best absorption. A few key reminders. If you're taking blood thinners, consult your doctor before high-dose omega-3. Avoid cheap, low-quality fish oils, which may oxidize and cause harm instead of help. When eating fish, choose smaller varieties like sardines and herring to reduce mercury exposure, instead of large fish like tuna. Practical tip: a simple dinner of grilled salmon with leafy greens and a drizzle of olive oil isn't just delicious, it's one of the best gifts you can give your brain. Don't think of omega-3 supplementation as complicated. It often starts with a warm, shared meal at the family table. Bottom line, omega-3 is the golden fuel for your brain. With enough, memory feels clear and spirit energized. Without it, the brain is like a machine running without oil, slow, clunky, and prone to break down. After 60, omega-3 isn't optional. It's the key to keeping the brain's engine running strong. Imagine your brain as a finely tuned machine, made up of billions of wires and tiny circuits. Every day it endures biological rust, oxidation caused by stress, environment, and the natural aging process. Without protection, those wires gradually corrode, connections weaken, and memory declines. This is where vitamin E steps in as a protective coating, shielding each nerve cell from destruction. Why is vitamin E so crucial after 60? As we age, the body produces more free radicals, those aggressive molecules that can damage cells. Since the brain consumes the most oxygen of any organ, it's especially vulnerable to attack. Without vitamin E, the brain is like a house without a roof, directly exposed to the storms of oxidative stress. The proven benefits of vitamin E for brain health include acting as a rust-proof shield, blocking free radicals from damaging nerve cells, helping preserve memory, especially short-term recall, slowing the early progression of dementia, as shown in some studies. Signs of vitamin E deficiency aren't always obvious. Seniors who lack it may feel muscle weakness, fatigue, or tingling in the hands and feet. In the brain, the shortage quietly shows up as forgetfulness, trouble focusing, or a heavy, foggy mind. Left uncorrected, deficiency speeds up the brain's rusting, meaning neurodegeneration accelerates. Studies link low vitamin E levels to higher risks of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. In other words, neglecting this small nutrient can have enormous consequences for quality of life. How should vitamin E be supplemented? The most important rule: more is not better. Some believe that taking high doses of vitamin E will supercharge anti-aging, but in reality, overdosing can be harmful, especially for those taking blood thinners, as it increases bleeding risk. The safest approach is through natural foods, a handful of almonds, sunflower seeds, or hazelnuts each day, leafy greens like spinach or broccoli, healthy plant oils such as sunflower or olive oil. If supplements are needed, choose mixed tocopherols, natural, blended forms, rather than a single synthetic version. The usual recommendation for older adults is around 15 milligrams per day, roughly the amount in a serving of nuts or greens. Important reminders: if you're on blood thinners, like warfarin or high-dose aspirin, consult your doctor before adding vitamin E supplements. Healthy adults may only need to increase vitamin E-rich foods rather than take pills. Avoid mega-dosing. Your body needs balance, not excess. Practical tip: instead of reaching for a sugary afternoon snack, Swap it for a handful of roasted almonds or sunflower seeds. You'll satisfy your cravings while quietly building a shield around your brain. Often, the biggest difference comes from the simplest choices. Bottom line, vitamin E is the brain's antioxidant armor. Without it, the mind rusts faster and weakens sooner. With enough, memory lasts longer and clarity endures. After 60, think of vitamin E as a quiet but vital companion for a sharp and resilient brain. After a long journey together, we've explored 4 essential nutrients for memory and brain health after 60. Vitamin B12, the battery that recharges every nerve cell. Vitamin D3, the sunlight that nourishes the mind and keeps spirits bright. Omega-3, the golden fuel that keeps the brain running smoothly. And vitamin E, the antioxidant armor that prevents the brain from rusting too soon. And don't forget one small but powerful secret. Turmeric combined with black pepper and a little healthy fat can create a shield against inflammation for your memory. The beauty of these nutrients lies in their simplicity. They're not expensive miracle pills you have to order from far away. They're right there in your kitchen, on your dining table, and in your daily habits. A handful of almonds instead of a sugary snack, a salmon dinner instead of red meat, a B12 lozenge after brushing your teeth, or a drizzle of olive oil on your salad. These are small steps, but together they create mass. Remember, after 60, every small choice can shape the quality of the next decade. A timely supplement can keep your memory sharp enough to tell stories to your grandchildren without losing your train of thought. A meal rich in omega-3 can help you keep driving, shopping, and living independently rather than relying on others. A gentle morning sunbath can lift your mood instead of sinking into sluggishness and loneliness. This isn't just about health. It's about freedom and dignity in aging. None of us want to become a burden on our children. The care you give your brain today determines how long you'll continue to live with clarity, independence, and joy. I'd like you to ask yourself, of the 4 vitamins we discussed today, which ones are you already taking? And which one surprised you because you'd never thought about it before? Share in the comments. Sometimes your experience can be the gentle reminder another person needs to step out of the memory fog. If you found this information helpful, don't hesitate to hit the like button and share this video with family, neighbors, or anyone over 60. A single small action might help someone hold on to their memory, their clarity, and their smile. And don't forget to subscribe so you can continue walking with us on this journey of senior health. Because the truth is, the best years may still be ahead of you if you choose to nourish your brain and body starting today. And before we close, let me give you a little preview. Some foods often marketed as healthy snacks may actually be speeding up brain aging. Hard to believe, right? But that's exactly what we'll uncover in the next video. Trust me, it could change your grocery list entirely. See you in the next chapter where every small step you take today becomes a priceless gift for your memory and mental clarity tomorrow.